It's the afternoon weather briefing. This is for Thursday, the 12th of September. I'm James Spann. This day has been windy. This day has been wet. So far, we've had no problems with tornadoes across the state. The remnant circulation of Francine is off to the east over central Mississippi. Let's go right to the radar and talk about what's to come for the rest of today, tonight, tomorrow, the weekend. And we're live at 2:28, and you can see one band that is setting up, a feeder band coming into the circulation right over West Alabama. This is producing very heavy amounts of rain over Tuscaloosa. That rain band stretches from near Uniontown up to Tuscaloosa, up to Fayette, to parts of Marion County. And again, notice the band is not moving that much. The individual storms are racing north along that, so there could be some flooding issues if that keeps up. Additional bands will likely set up this evening, and again, we'll see waves of rain tonight and tomorrow. But like today, there'll be some good breaks in the rain. And we've had no problems with any tornado activity so far. Much more about that threat here in just a second. Here's the big picture, and of course, the remnant circulation of Francine. That's kind of dominating the mid-south now. Got a trough back in the northwest. There's the visible satellite view. And we notice the sky has brightened nicely across southwest Alabama. We got the sun out on the Alabama Gulf Coast, parts of the Florida Panhandle coast as Francine lifts northward. Here's the radar composite. This is the big picture across the region. The really big, widespread rain over West Tennessee, northeast Arkansas, north Mississippi. But again, we're watching those feeder bands over Alabama. And we still have a flash flood watch for much of the state, except for the southwest counties of Alabama. All the counties in green, that is a flash flood watch. And also there is a wind advisory for a gradient winds. We've seen winds gusting to 30, 35, 40 miles an hour today as expected, and had a lot of trees blown down, causing some power outages. So this is the severe weather outlook for the rest of today and tonight. And so far, SPC has not changed their outlook. They still have a level 2 out of level 5 risk from near Birmingham down to Dothan and Andalusia. This includes Montgomery, Auburn, Opelika, Troy, Luverne. And then the outlook tomorrow, a level 1 out of 5 threat for much of north, central, and east Alabama and southeast Alabama. The areas in dark green. We'll take a look at the modeling on this in just a second. And then on day 3, which is Saturday, no organized severe storms are expected. Here's a look at rain for the next 7 days. And keep in mind, this outlook runs through Thursday morning of next week. So this is not just today. And again, the numbers are really aggressive. This is coming from NOAA's WPC, the Weather Prediction Center. This is a vetted product. This is not model output. And it's got some very aggressive numbers from Birmingham to Huntsville. Birmingham 7 inches, Huntsville 8 inches. I don't know if we'll do that much. But again, if you look at the rain we see between now and early next week, we could easily see amounts in the 2 to 4 inch range. And there could be isolated spots with numbers like that. So let's first off look at the wide view of the tropics. And of course, Francine is inland and dissipating over Mississippi. A little feature that's approaching the Leeward Islands and Tropical Depression 7. This is the 7-day outlook. A little feature near the Leeward Islands. I don't think that develops. We'll keep an eye on that. There's a lot of dry air surrounding that. A low will be forming off the coast of the Carolinas over the weekend. That will be drifting inland, and we'll keep an eye on that, but that's not really a classic tropical system. In terms of TD7, Tropical Depression 7, this thing is far from land, and it will stay far from land for a while. Hurricane Center keeps this under hurricane strength. And Tuesday of next week, again, it's out in the middle of nowhere. And looking at modeling on this, the GFS has now got a split camp. You got about half the members want to turn it north, half the members keep it coming west. The bottom line is it's going to be a slow-moving system in an atmospheric condition that's not favorable for any kind of big strengthening out there. It's just something to watch for now. And Francine, what's left of the system, is near Jackson, Mississippi. And again, the remnant circulation coming up toward Memphis that will just meander about for 24 hours and ultimately dissipate over northeast Arkansas. And again, in terms of the Gulf Coast, for those of you that are beach-bound, keep in mind the rip current risk will stay high tonight and tomorrow, and then a low risk for the weekend into early next week. So let's get right to the situation today. So this is high-resolution modeling here coming off the HRRR, the High-Resolution Rapid Refresh. And this is valid this evening at 6 o'clock. And this is surface-based instability. That's one ingredient that you need to have an isolated tornado. And you can see that that instability that's been over South Alabama today slowly working northward. But still, from Birmingham north and east, there's no surface-based instability. So if you're in Huntsville, the Shoals, Cullman, Anniston, Gadsden, Birmingham, the chance of a tornado is pretty low tonight. Not zero, but pretty low. This is the SRH, the storm relative helicity, veering of the wind with altitude in relation to storm motion. And that's certainly sufficient for rotating updrafts. And if you put that together, this is a composite product called the STP, the Significant Tornado Parameter. And again, the numbers are not especially robust. You've got 1 to 2 units in kind of a zone from Tuscaloosa down to about Andalusia. And so we'll be watching for any sign of maybe an isolated brief tornado, especially in that zone this evening for the next couple of hours. But again, based on the trends we've seen today and what's happened so far, I would say it's not really a major threat. But again, with this thing, you got to keep your eye on it. Tropical systems always produce surprises. So this is tomorrow coming off the GFS. Model fans, the 12Z run valid tomorrow at 4. And again, the remnant circulation of Francine is just hanging around Memphis. And we stay in a very moist air mass. And with that position, we'll see a number of showers and thunderstorms around. And it's interesting to note that the significant tornado parameter is actually higher tomorrow over the eastern half of the state. This is tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock, coming off the high-res NAM, North American Mesoscale model. And again, the numbers aren't robustly high, but still, they're certainly sufficient to suggest there could be a few isolated tornadoes, and that matches up pretty nicely with the Storm Prediction Center outlook. This is their outlook tomorrow. And again, it's a level 1 out of level 5. The dynamic support will not be as good, but the instability value should be a little higher tomorrow. So even though we've not had anything happen today so far, just keep in mind there could be a couple of brief isolated tornadoes over parts of Alabama tomorrow, especially north, central, and southeast Alabama. And understand, whenever we say isolated, that means few and far between, not many at all. But like we've said before, all it takes is one. And if there's one little tornado, it gets down for 3 or 4 minutes, and if that thing comes through your neighborhood, it's a big deal. But again, the basic idea, we'll see a number of showers and thunderstorms around tomorrow, like today, not raining all day. And temperatures will likely stay below 80 because of clouds and rain. Highs in the upper 70s in most spots. So a lot of questions about Saturday. And again, the air mass will not change much. The better chance of getting away with no rain is South Alabama. The better chance of getting rain, the northern half of the state. Even there, not going to rain all day, but just be aware there will be showers around, maybe some thunder. We don't expect any severe storms, don't expect a tornado threat on Saturday, but occasional showers, kind of scattered in nature, maybe some thunder. So if you got something planned outdoors, be aware of that. The high Saturday will be upper 70s in most spots, and really not much change on Sunday. In fact, the moisture might be a smidgen deeper, even down into South Alabama. Same thing, not going to rain all day. Some rain at times, maybe some thunder. The high will be in the upper 70s in most spots. A lot of clouds around, maybe a few peaks of sun this weekend. So Monday, we're starting to trend drier, and again, the models have been all over the board concerning early next week. We'll mention a chance of showers. This is Tuesday, now looking pretty dry. Other runs have suggested some rain on Tuesday. We'll still mention a chance of showers Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday looks pretty dry. We'll have a north flow developing. And this is a week from today, Thursday the 19th, big trough in the west. Kind of an upper trough developing east of Alabama. And again, with the northerly flow, that should be a fairly dry air mass. So at this point, we'll mention a chance of showers on Monday and Tuesday of next week, and then beyond that, things look fairly dry. Let's keep going. Let's go out 10 days. This is Sunday, the 22nd of September. Got a big trough over the central U.S., kind of an upper low that's meandering about Florida. And if this is right, that would be dry. Rain for Birmingham. This is coming off the European ensemble. And you're looking for the green line. That's the mean of the ensemble members, and it's running a little over 4 inches between now and the 27th of September. Temperatures coming off the national blend of models. One thing you don't see on that graph, 90s. Are we done with the 90s? Probably not. We all know we can have a day like that in late September and October, but highs in the upper 70s on most days through the weekend, and getting back in the 80s next week. And the latest long-range outlook just in. This is for September 20th through September 26th. And if this verifies, temperatures would be a little above average. So once again, if you're just joining us, we're live at 2:38. This is the radar. Things are okay right now. Of course, the gradient winds are up there. We've got winds gusting to 30, 35, 40 miles per hour. The higher winds on the western side of the state, closer to the remnants of Francine. We've had some trees blown down today and some scattered power outages. In fact, let me pull up the latest number while we're speaking here. And again, we're live at 2:38. We've got 42,325 in Alabama without power. The highest concentration of outages is Pickens County, which makes sense. That's closest to the circulation of Francine. And again, that's the result of gradient winds. And so far, we have not had a single tornado in the state today, which is good. And we're getting into the peak of the daytime heating process here. And if we are to see an isolated tornado, it will be probably between now and about 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. And the area I think you really need to watch for would be this area right here. This is the STP, significant tornado parameter this evening at 6 o'clock, showing numbers a little elevated, really not much, but somewhat elevated from near Tuscaloosa down to about Greenville, Chapman, Georgiana, and Andalusia. So could there be an isolated tornado in one of these spiral bands? Yes. But again, I would say that based on the history of this, the threat is not that especially great, but it's there. And again, there's a very real chance the greater threat could be tomorrow. This is tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. The STP value is a little higher and over the eastern half of the state. And again, the SPC maintains that marginal risk, a level 1 out of 5 for much of north and east and southeast Alabama for tomorrow. But with these tropical rain bands, they can be very, very efficient rain producers. They can produce a lot of rain in a short amount of time. And we'll kind of watch the band here. It looks like the heaviest rain is just maybe east of the city of Tuscaloosa. But if that thing doesn't move much, we could easily see some major flash flooding problems. And we also note other bands starting to develop down to the south around Montgomery. So just understand we'll see waves of tropical rain for the rest of today, tonight, into tomorrow. And we'll be watching radar trends carefully. But again, today, so far, so good. So again, today has been a day of weather watching. Tomorrow, I am planning on being at River and Cape Montessori School in Alabaster and then Westminster School at Oak Mountain. We do not have a book signing on Saturday for this Saturday. We'll hopefully get back on that on the 21st. But listen, don't forget to watch us over on the TV side. Right across the hall here, Studio A, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.